Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a Drytron deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this one for you guys because we just got some amazing support for this deck, even giving us a new awesome boss monster that is now one of the most powerful ritual monsters in the entire game. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. Like getting your name skipped in a single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your Patreon. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're playing a single copy of the new Drytron Minionis Da Draconids, aka Drytron Dad. This card is awesome as a new boss monster because other Drytron monsters that you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects, and up to twice per turn this card is a monster negate, which is absolutely broken. This card also replaces itself if it's destroyed by your opponent's card with your original copy of your Draconids, which is a really powerful effect. But this card is such a powerful boss monster, coming out with 5,000, making it the most powerful ritual monster in the entire game now. This card is so easy to summon with your copy of Mu Beta Fafnir, and it's an amazing boss monster that actually kind of sort of replaces your copy of your Herald of Ultimateness, which is absolutely amazing because now we have a archetype boss monster for the deck that actually is a negate. We've been playing a single copy of the original Draconids. Draconids is still really good as a one-of because you can summon it off the new Dad Draconids, but it's amazing to help you spot remove cards off the field. Your opponent cannot target it with monster effects, and it's just really good to help you OTK your opponent. We then play 3 copies of Benton. Benton's really good because if this card is tributed, you can actually add a light fairy monster from your deck to your hand. And with your Drytrons tributing ritual monsters, it's very easy to be able to tribute this card, so you can add your copy of your Diviner from your deck to your hand. We then play a single copy of Natasha. Natasha's just really good in the deck as a one-up, but you only need a single copy of this card, but it's still really good to be able to play in the build. We then play a single copy of Magiki McMusket. McMusket is so powerful in the deck as a one-up to be able to play because it helps you get to your copy of Unlocking, because when it's ritual summoned, you can add your copy of Unlocking from your deck to your hand, which is basically just going to get you a negate, which is really awesome to go along with your new Drytron Dad, which is basically going to get you 3 negates, which is so powerful, and I love that about this card. And it just basically helps you summon out this card to your side of the field. Because if this card is ritual summon, you can add a Magic card from your deck to your hand, which is going to instantly get you to that copy of Unlocking, which is an awesome counter trap. We then play 3 copies of New2. New2 is really good as a 3-of in the deck. This card is so powerful as an extender in the build. It cannot be normal summoned or set. It must be special by a card effect. And if a Drytron card is on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand or your graveyard, but banish it when it leaves the field. And if this card is special summoned, you can add a Drytron monster from your deck to your hand, helping the consistency of the deck, but also being an amazing extender. This card also has a really cool ability that after you use this card's effect, you cannot ritual summon the turn you activate either of this card's effect except for machine monsters, which is why we're just basically sticking to our 2 Drytron boss monsters in this build and no other ritual monsters, because this card locks you into machine ritual summons, which is totally fine. You're basically just summoning out your different cards like your McMusket, which is actually a machine monster, and your copies of your Draconids, which is very easy to summon out, and your copies of Benton are basically just used for tributes for your Drytron so you can get searches. We then play 3 copies of Alpha Thubin. Alpha Thubin is definitely a 3-of in the deck, and this card is amazing, but all of your different Drytron monsters besides your copy of New2 that are just regular monsters and not ritual monsters actually share a common effect. That they cannot be normal summoned or set. They must be special with the effect of a Drytron card. You can tribute one of their Drytron monster or a ritual monster from your hand or field to be able to special summon this card from your hand or grave in defense position. Then you get an awesome effect. For this card's particular effect, you get to add a ritual monster from your deck to your hand, but you cannot special summon monsters except monsters that cannot be normal summoned or set the turn you activate this effect, which is not that big of a deal because it's pretty much all we're summoning anyways. But this card is amazing in the build because it does give you a search of a ritual monster when it is summoned out to your side of the field, and the amazing thing about Drytrons is you can summon them back from the graveyard by just tributing a ritual monster or a Drytron monster, which is really cool. We then play 3 copies of Zeta. Zeta is exactly like your copy of Alpha Thubin, but this card lets you add a ritual spell from your deck to your hand instead of a ritual monster, which is amazing to instantly get to the exact card that you need. We then play 2 copies of Gamma. Gamma is really good to help you get an additional monster out on the field. Instead, this card is special summon. You can special summon a Drytron monster with 2,000 attack from your graveyard to your side of the field, which is a great effect to instantly get another monster out on your side of the field, so you can go over your copy of Mu Beta Fafnir. We then play a single copy of Delta. Delta is really good to help you just draw an additional card, which is why we play this card as a 1-of in the build. So when this card is special summon, you can reveal a ritual monster or ritual spell in the hand, and if you do, draw a card, which is just going to help you dig into the deck. We then play a single copy of Ultimate Bright Knight Ursatron Alpha. Ursatron Alpha is a great extender in the build, as this card is a great effect that if you control a copy of a Drytron monster, you can special summon this card in the hand, then add a Drytron spell trap from your deck to your hand, which is such a powerful effect to get to the exact card that you need. We then play 2 copies of Diviner. Diviner is definitely a 2-of in the build, but you only need 2 copies of this card because you can search it out with your copy of Benton. You don't want to brick with it, and I found that just by playing 2 copies, this card, it's so easy to get to with your copy of your Cyber Angel Benton because it will search it out when it's tributed, which is why we just play 2 copies in the build. But this card is amazing to help you send your copy of Herald of Arclight from your X deck to the graveyard, so you can get a search of a ritual monster, ritual spell, but it's also very helpful in the build. We then play a single copy of Vanity's Ruler. Vanity's Ruler is just awesome in the deck, and once you establish this card with your copy of your new Drytron dad, it's usually GG, as this card has the ability you cannot be special summoned, but your opponent cannot special summon monsters. It's very easy to establish 2 Drytron monsters on your side of the field, especially in this deck where you're only playing 3 normal summons, with your copies of your Diviners and your copy of Vanity's Ruler being the only normal summons in the entire deck. But you can search this card off your copy of your Benton, which is why we're just playing a single copy in the deck. But you easily contribute summon this card out to your side of the field. It's easy to search out in the deck, and it's an awesome card to be able to summon out in this particular build to basically lock down your opponent where they cannot special summon. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of Terraforming. Terraforming is definitely a 1-of in the build to be able to search out our field spells from our deck to our hand. We're then playing a single copy of Secret Village of the Spellcasters. Secret Village is so powerful in the deck, it is searchable in this build, and it's absolutely broken to be able to put a Spellcaster out on our side of the field to make it so our opponent cannot activate spell cards. This card is so broken right now, it's really easy to be able to establish, and it's such a powerful card. We then play 2 copies of Drytron Fafnir. Fafnir is really good because when this card is activated, you can add a Drytron spell trap from your deck to your hand, except another copy of this card, which is a really cool effect to instantly get to the exact card that you need. And the activation and the activated effects of ritual spell cards cannot be negated, just giving you a little bit of protection for when you ritual summon. We then play a single copy of the Drytron Ritual Spell. Drytron Ritual Spell is really good to be able to play in the build to help you ritual summon out the exact card that you need. We then play 3 copies of Cyber Emergency. This card is basically the Rhoda for the deck. Because your Drytron monsters cannot be normal summoned or set, they can be searched out with your copy of Cyber Emergency, making this card one of the most powerful cards in the entire build to basically use this card as a Rhoda. We then play 3 copies of Drytron Nova. Drytron Nova is basically the quick launch or E-Telly of the deck, letting you special summon a Drytron monster from your deck, but destroy it during the end phase, which is such a powerful effect to instantly get the exact Drytron monster you want on your side of the field. We then also play 3 copies of Droplet. Droplet is really good in the deck as a 3-of because you can discard your copies of your Drytron monsters to the graveyard for your copy of Droplet, basically making this card free because your Drytron monsters can special summon themselves back out of the graveyard. So it doesn't really matter where they are, as long as you have a single Drytron monster in the hand or a single copy of Benton in the hand, you can basically cycle through all of your Drytrons because once they start rolling, they basically don't stop for the turn. Once you cycle through all of your Drytron monsters, you're basically done, but it's very easy to cycle through all of your different Drytron names. So this card is just really good to basically turn off your opponent's field, and amazing in this build to basically just turn off their field, half the attack points, especially when we come at them with a 5,000 attack point ritual monster. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get in to the traps. So for the traps, we're just going to be playing 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence and a single copy of Unlocking. These cards are amazing in the deck to be able to play because your copy of Infinite Impermanence is basically just going to be used to stop your opponent's monster effects and also lock down entire columns of spells and traps. With your copy of Unlocking, have a really cool ability, be able to search off your copy of Mick Musket. And this card has the ability, when your opponent activates a spell or trap card while you control a Magic-y ritual monster, you can actually activate the effect that you basically just negate the activation if you do destroy that card, which is a really cool effect to basically just use this card as a counter trap to stop your opponent in their tracks. These are really good to be able to play in the build to basically just stop your opponent's monster effects and also stop your opponent's cards like spells and traps with your copy of Unlocking to basically stop them so that you can go in for your game with your copy of your Drytron Dad. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to start off with Mu Beta Fafnir. Mu Beta Fafnir is definitely a 2-up in the build because this card is just so powerful in the deck to be able to summon out to your side of the field and basically use as the entire requirement to summon out your copy of Drytron Dad. This card has the ability, when you ritual summon, you can actually detach materials from this card as monsters required for the ritual summon, meaning you can detach both of its materials and then itself to equal the 6,000 attack points that you need to summon out Drytron Dad. This card also has the ability, if this Izzy summon card, or this card's Izzy summon, you can send a Drytron card from your deck to the graveyard, and when your opponent activates a spell or trap card while you control a machine ritual monster, quick effect, you can detach material from this card to negate the activation to destroy that card, which is a really cool effect to be able to summon out this card alongside your copy of your Drytron Dad, giving you a spell trap negate and a double monster negate. We then play a single copy of Slacker Magician. Slacker Magician is how we actually establish the copy of Secret Village of the Spellcaster. Because this card is a Spellcaster, you can just summon it out to your side of the field with any 2 Drytron monsters, then activate your copy of your Secret Village. And this card is very hard for your opponent to deal with because once per turn, when this card would be destroyed by battle, it actually is not destroyed, which is a great ability to basically just summon this card out. It's very difficult for your opponent to deal with. And also, during either player's turn, when a card or effect is activated that targets this face-up card, you can detach a material from this card to negate the activation to destroy that card. Plus, this card comes out at 2100 defense, making it extremely difficult for your opponent to deal with this monster. We then play a single copy of the Bird. Bird is just really good to be able to summon out to your side of the field, just in case you need to have a defensive play. You play a single copy of Downer Magician. Downer Magician is amazing in the deck just to summon out to your side of the field so you can give your Zeus an additional material. We then play a single copy of Zeus. Zeus is amazing in this deck to be able to summon because it's such a powerful card to be able to play in this deck to just board wipe your opponent. We play a single copy of Ancient Fairy. Ancient Fairy is actually how we search out our copy of Secret Village of the Spellcaster, because you basically just pop your copy of your Fafnir and then search out your copy of Secret Village, which is amazing to be able to do. I love that about this card, that it just instantly helps you get to that card, and it's so powerful to instantly get to that field spell because you can actually destroy as many cards in the field zone as possible, and if you do, gain 1,000 life points and add a field spell with a different name from the destroy card from your deck to your hand, which is going to help you search out your copy of your Secret Village of the Spellcasters. Then play a single copy of Dawn Dragster. Dawn Dragster is great to be able to play in the deck as well because this card just negates spells and traps, which is why I play it in the deck. Play a single copy of Herald of the Arclight because we can send it to the graveyard off our copy of Diviner, so we can add a ritual spell or ritual monster from our deck to our hand. 1 copy of Elder Nist, just in case we need to pop a card on the field with our copy of Diviner. These cards are the 2 targets that we have in the extract to be able to send to the graveyard all of Diviner, depending on what you need, if you need a search or a pop. And then play a single copy of Dynamundo. It is a ritual deck, so this card is amazing in the build to be able to summon out to the field. Since this card is special summon, you can target a card on the field and a ritual monster in the grave and shuffle both into the deck. And also during your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can tribute this card and then target a ritual monster in the graveyard and either add it to your hand or special summon it, which is a great effect to be able to bring back one of your ritual monsters back to your side of the field. And play a single copy of the Light Charmer. Light Charmer is just really good in the deck to give you an additional spellcaster for your copy of your Secret Village. We play a single copy of SP. SP is amazing deck. You could change it out for a copy of Nightmare Unicorn if you want to, for a more budget option, but this card is a double interruption, so if you have it, play it. If you don't, that's okay. Play a copy of Nightmare Unicorn. We then play a single copy of IP Masquerena. IP is really good to help you going for your copy of SP during the opponent's turn, or even going for your copy of Dynamundo, which is amazing to be able to do, especially to disrupt your opponent's plays. We then play a single copy of Relinquished Anima. Relinquished Anima is just too easy not to play in the deck. Basically just gobble up your opponent's cards. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This deck is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played Drytron before, you should definitely give this deck a try because it's so fun to be able to play. It's awesome now that we have our new awesome boss monster in this deck. It's just such a powerful deck, especially all the spicy tech cards I've included in this build for you guys. Plus, it has a dad in the deck, which is so cool that we have a Drytron dad. So, that's good for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell next to come for our notification squad. I'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.